Welcome, dear listener, and thank you for choosing to join us here on this channel of tranquil journeys. It truly warms me to know you've decided to embark on another restful audio escape with Silas and the Wanderer. Perhaps you've traveled with us before, felt the gentle breezes of Stockholm, the ancient echoes of Rome, or the vibrant warmth of Barcelona. Wherever your previous stop in our auditory travels, I am glad you are here now. Tonight, our train, the Wanderer, finds itself arriving in Lisbon, a city bathed in a unique and captivating light. Imagine, if you will, stepping onto cobblestone streets warmed by the Portuguese sun, the air carrying a gentle hint of salt and the distant sound of melancholic Fado music. Picture buildings adorned with intricate azulejo tiles, shimmering and reflecting the vibrant colors of the city as you wander through historic Alfama. We will climb to viewpoints to witness breathtaking sunsets over terracotta rooftops and taste the sweetness of local pastries in bustling markets. In this audiobook journey, you will once again experience the world through the observant and peaceful eyes of Silas. We will move at a slow, contemplative pace, savoring the subtle details of Lisbon, the patterns in the pavement, the scent of local cuisine, the feeling of history beneath our feet. We will delve into Silas's internal reflections as he explores this new city, finding beauty in the everyday moments and embracing the tranquil rhythm of travel. This is an invitation to unwind, to let go of the day's stresses, and to find a moment of calm amidst the gentle narrative. So settle back, make yourself comfortable, and allow the soothing sounds of my voice to guide you into the peaceful atmosphere of Lisbon. If you find yourself enjoying this tranquil journey with Silas, and if you wish to continue exploring the world with us on The Wanderer, please do consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Your support allows us to keep crafting these restful audio experiences. Now let us begin our gentle descent into Lisbon and let the journey truly commence. Chapter 1. The Descent to the Tagus. The gentle rhythm of the train wheels on the tracks is a constant, soothing hum. Inside the Wanderer, soft light filters through the panoramic windows, casting a warm glow. I settle deeper into the plush armchair, feeling the familiar comfort of my traveling home surround me. Outside, the landscape is shifting, subtly transforming as we draw closer to Lisbon. The world beyond the glass is a tapestry of greens and browns, slowly giving way to a brighter hue. A feeling of quiet anticipation begins to stir within me, a gentle excitement for the city ahead. Rolling hills, dotted with ancient olive trees, now become more frequent. Their silvery leaves shimmer in the afternoon sun, catching the light with each passing moment. I observe the orderly rows of vineyards stretching across the slopes, hinting at the rich wines of this region. The air feels different too, carrying a faint hint of something new, something coastal and fresh. Perhaps it is just my imagination, or is there a touch of salt in the air already? The thought of the sea begins to form gently in my mind. Shoot, the train begins a slow, almost imperceptible descent, a gentle incline downwards. I can sense the subtle shift in gradient, a change in the familiar rhythm of the journey. Through a break in the trees, a flash of silver catches my eye in the distance. It is water reflecting the sky, a first glimpse of the Tagus River, I believe. A sense of direction is forming now. Lisbon is drawing nearer with every revolution of the wheels. The anticipation grows, soft and calm, like the landscape itself. The river widens as we approach, becoming a broad expanse of shimmering blue. Sunlight dances on the surface, creating patterns of light and shadow that are constantly changing. I imagine boats gently gliding across the water, their sails catching the breeze like white wings. The air becomes noticeably milder, the scent of earth giving way to a fresher, cleaner fragrance. The landscape is opening up now, revealing a wider vista as we continue our descent. The Tagus is certainly a majestic presence here. Small villages begin to appear, nestled amongst the trees and closer to the riverbanks. Their terracotta rooftops bake warmly under the Portuguese sun, adding a splash of color to the green landscape. I notice the details of daily life unfolding in these little hamlets, glimpses of people going about their afternoon routines. There is a sense of peaceful rhythm to these small communities, a harmony with the surrounding nature. Life here seems to flow at a gentler pace, much like our train. The train tracks curve gently alongside the river now, bringing us closer to the water's edge. I can almost feel the coolness emanating from the Tagus, a refreshing contrast to the warmth of the sun. The sound of birdsong fills the air, a melodic chorus carried on the gentle breeze. The landscape is becoming softer, lusher, reflecting the proximity to the water's life-giving presence. We are truly entering a coastal region now. The evidence is all around. The light changes again, becoming warmer, more golden as the afternoon progresses. Long shadows stretch across the fields, adding depth and texture to the already rich scenery. The air seems still and peaceful, holding the warmth of the day, promising a calm evening. I observe the subtle shifts in color, the gentle transitions from one shade to another. This light is painting the landscape in soft, tranquil hues, a perfect welcome. Through the trees, I catch another glimpse of the Tagus, now even wider, almost like a bay. The opposite bank is hazy in the distance, hinting at the vastness of this waterway. I can almost feel the nearness of the ocean beyond, the vast expanse of water that stretches to far horizons. Lisbon is nestled near this meeting of river and sea, a city of coast and history, I remember reading. The journey's end for this part is indeed drawing very near now. The train slows further still, a gentle deceleration as we approach our destination. The rhythmic clickety-clack softens, becoming a quieter, almost whispered sound. I take a deep breath, feeling a sense of calm contentment and a quiet thrill for the explorations to come. Lisbon awaits, bathed in the golden light of late afternoon, ready to reveal its own unique rhythm and charm. It is time to arrive, to step out, and to observe. Chapter 2. Cobblestone Welcome. The train gently sighs to a complete stop, the rhythmic sounds now replaced by stillness. A soft hiss of air escapes the brakes, the only sound for a moment in the quiet carriage. I gather my satchel, slinging it over my shoulder, and stand, feeling a slight stretch in my limbs. The journey on the Wanderer is always comfortable. Yet movement after stillness is always welcome. Outside, I see the platform stretching ahead, people beginning to disembark from other carriages. It is time to step onto Lisbon soil for the very first time. The doors slide open smoothly, inviting me out into the Lisbon train station. Stepping onto the platform, I immediately notice the change in atmosphere. The air here is filled with a gentle buzz of activity, a low hum of voices and movement, yet not overwhelming. Sunlight streams in through the high arched station windows, illuminating the platform in a warm, inviting glow. I observe the architecture of the station itself, noticing the details of the building around me. There is a sense of history here, a feeling of many journeys beginning and ending. My feet connect with the stone platform, a solid, grounded feeling beneath my shoes. I pause for a moment, taking in the sights and sounds that surround me. The station is a blend of old and new, with classic architectural elements alongside modern signage and information boards. The scent of coffee drifts from a nearby cafe within the station, a welcoming aroma that hints at Portuguese hospitality. People are moving around me, some greeting loved ones, others heading purposefully towards the exits. Life is flowing here, in this transit space, a gentle current of human activity. Navigating through the station concourse, I am drawn to the decorative tiles that line the walls. Azulejos, I believe they are called, depicting scenes of Portuguese history and culture. The colors are vibrant, yet softened by time, telling silent stories of the past. I pause to admire a panel showing ships sailing on a vast ocean, a reminder of Portugal's seafaring heritage. These tiles are beautiful, adding artistry to a functional space, a detail that pleases my eye. They speak of a culture that values beauty in the everyday, I observe to myself. Emerging from the station doors, I step out into the full light of Lisbon. The air feels warmer here, carrying the distinct scent of the city, a mix of exhaust fumes and something else, something floral and fresh. The sounds of Lisbon are more pronounced now, the gentle rumble of traffic, the distant sound of trams, and the lively chatter of voices. Before me stretches a wide plaza, paved with intricately patterned cobblestones, typical of Portuguese cities, I recognize. The ground beneath my feet is now transformed again, from platform stone to patterned pavement. Looking around, I see buildings of various colors, washed in the bright Lisbon sunlight. Many are adorned with more of the beautiful azulejo tiles, reflecting the light and adding vibrancy to the cityscape. Palm trees sway gently in the light breeze, adding a touch of exoticism to the scene. The sky above is a clear, bright blue, stretching endlessly upwards, a vast canvas over the city. The light in Lisbon is indeed something quite special, I note to myself. I take a moment to orient myself, consulting a small map I have prepared beforehand. My guest house in Alfama is my destination, a place nestled in the historic heart of the city. The name Alfama conjures images of narrow streets and old buildings, a place of character and charm. I decide to walk, to absorb the city at a slower pace, to feel the rhythm of Lisbon unfold around me. There is no rush. The journey through the city is part of the experience itself. The cobblestones underfoot are uneven, requiring a mindful step, a slower pace of walking. The patterns are intricate, small stones fitted together to create a mosaic beneath my feet. I appreciate the craftsmanship, the artistry embedded even in the pavement itself. Each step is a small tactile experience, connecting me to the physical reality of Lisbon. The city seems to be encouraging a slower, more deliberate way of moving through its spaces. With a gentle breath, I begin to walk, my satchel resting comfortably against my side. The sounds of Lisbon surround me. The sunlight warms my face, and the cobblestones guide my feet. The journey into the heart of Alfama begins now, a new exploration unfolding with each step I take. I am here in Lisbon, ready to observe and to appreciate the unfolding moments. Chapter 3. A Guesthouse in Alfama. The wide avenues near the station soon give way to narrower streets, a clear transition in the city's fabric. Entering Alfama feels like stepping back in time into a different rhythm altogether. The buildings here are older, their facades bearing the marks of many years, whispering stories of Lisbon's past. Sunlight filters down between the tall buildings, creating patterns of light and shadow on the cobbled pathways. A sense of intimacy and history permeates the air. A distinct character emerges from the ancient stones. The pace of life immediately feels slower, more deliberate in these historic lanes. The streets twist and turn unexpectedly, creating a labyrinthine network around me. I follow my map, but find myself happily getting slightly lost in the charm of it all. Each corner reveals a new vista, a different perspective of the old buildings and the neighborhood life. Laundry hangs from balconies overhead, adding splashes of color to the already vibrant facades. The sound of snippets of conversation in Portuguese drift from open windows, a melodic murmur of daily life. There is a sense of community woven into the very structure of these close-knit streets. The air is filled with a mixture of scents, a subtle blend of different aromas. I notice the fragrance of freshly baked bread wafting from a nearby doorway, a comforting and homely smell. Mixed with this are hints of spices, perhaps from a local restaurant preparing for the evening meal. The textures of the buildings are also varied, from smooth painted surfaces to rough weathered stone. Running my hand lightly along a wall, I feel the coolness of the stone beneath my fingertips. The sensory experience of Alfama is rich and layered, captivating in its detail. After a few turns, I locate the street where my guest house is marked on the map. It is a narrow lane, easily missed if not paying close attention, tucked away from the busier pathways. The entrance to the guest house is discreet, a simple wooden door with a small hand-painted sign above it. It has a welcoming, unassuming appearance, hinting at a quiet haven within. There is no grand entrance, just a subtle invitation to step inside from the bustling streets. I feel a sense of anticipation as I approach the door, ready to discover what lies within. I ring the small bell beside the door, its chime echoing gently in the quiet lane. After a short pause, the door opens to reveal a woman with a warm smile and kind eyes. She greets me in Portuguese, her voice gentle and welcoming, and then switches to English with a slight, charming accent. She introduces herself as Maria, the owner of the guest house, and her manner is immediately hospitable. Her presence radiates a sense of calm, and genuine warmth, making me feel instantly at ease. I sense I have chosen well for my Lisbon stay. Stepping inside the guest house, I am greeted by a cool, tranquil atmosphere, a welcome respite from the outside warmth. The interior is dimly lit, with soft natural light filtering through lace curtains on the windows. The air is still and quiet, a contrast to the lively sounds of Alfama just beyond the walls. I notice simple yet elegant decor with wooden furniture and traditional Portuguese tiles adorning the walls. A feeling of peace and serenity washes over me as I enter this quiet sanctuary. This space feels immediately calming and restful. Maria leads me through a small reception area and up a narrow flight of wooden stairs. The stairs creak gently underfoot, adding to the old-world charm of the guest house. She explains a little about the history of the building as we ascend, mentioning it has been in her family for generations. The sense of heritage and personal touch is palpable, creating a unique and intimate atmosphere. I appreciate these details, these small glimpses into the history of the place I am staying. It adds a layer of depth beyond just accommodation. Reaching the first floor, Maria shows me to my room, opening a door into a small, simply furnished space. The room is bathed in soft light from a window overlooking the street below, casting gentle shadows across the wooden floor. A comfortable-looking bed is neatly made, covered with a crisp white linen sheet and a light blanket. There is a small writing desk by the window and a simple wooden chair, creating a functional and uncluttered space. The room has an air of peaceful simplicity, everything I need and nothing more. Opening the window, I look out onto the narrow street below, and the sounds of Alfama rise gently to meet me. The distant murmur of conversations, the faint strains of Fado music from a nearby restaurant, and the general hum of neighborhood life create a soothing soundscape. I breathe in the Lisbon air, feeling a sense of arrival, of being truly in this place. Settling into this guest house in Alfama feels like finding a quiet corner in the heart of a vibrant city. I am ready to unpack and to truly begin my exploration of Lisbon. Chapter 4: Sunlight on Tile. The morning light filters gently through the lace curtains of my guest house window. I awaken slowly, feeling refreshed and rested after a peaceful night's sleep. The sounds of Alfama are muted at this hour, a gentle stirring of the city waking up. A soft warmth pervades the air, hinting at the sunny day that is beginning to unfold. I stretch and rise from the bed, feeling a quiet sense of anticipation for the day ahead. Lisbon in the morning light is something I am eager to experience. Stepping out of the guest house and onto the cobblestone street, the morning sun greets me warmly. The air is crisp and clear, carrying a fresh scent that is different from the afternoon air. The sounds of Alfama are slowly increasing, the distant clatter of a tram starting its route, and the murmur of early morning conversations. The light casts long shadows down the narrow streets, creating a dramatic interplay of light and shade. The city is awakening gradually, stretching into a new day, full of potential. I begin to wander without a particular direction in mind, letting my feet guide me through the maze of Alfama's streets. The buildings around me are bathed in the soft morning light, illuminating their colorful facades. But it is the tiles that truly capture my attention this morning, the azulejos that adorn so many buildings. They gleam and shimmer in the sunlight, reflecting the light in a myriad of colors and patterns. The tiles are everywhere, a defining feature of Lisbon's visual landscape. Each tile seems to tell its own small story. Intricate patterns and designs are repeated across building fronts. Some are geometric with repeating shapes and lines that create a sense of order and symmetry. Others are more floral, depicting vines and blossoms, bringing nature into the urban environment. Still others are figurative, showing scenes of everyday life or historical moments, small glimpses into the past. The variety is captivating, an endless source of visual interest as I walk. The sunlight catches the glazed surfaces of the tiles, making them almost luminous. They reflect the blue of the sky and the warm tones of the surrounding buildings, creating a vibrant tapestry of color. As I walk, the patterns shift and change depending on the angle of the light and my perspective. The tiles are not static decorations, they are living surfaces that interact with the environment. This interplay of light and tile is uniquely Lisbon, I observe. Quite beautiful. Walking further, I notice more details. The subtle variations in color within a single panel of tiles. The slight imperfections in the glaze, the tiny cracks that speak of age and history. These are not mass-produced decorations. They are handcrafted pieces, each with its own individual character. I can imagine the artisans who created these tiles, their hands carefully painting each design. There is a sense of human touch and artistry embedded in these ubiquitous surfaces. The sounds of Alfama begin to grow a little louder as more people emerge onto the streets. The rhythmic clip-clop of footsteps on the cobblestones mixes with the gentle hum of voices. I pass a small bakery. The aroma of fresh bread spilling out onto the street, an invitation to pause. The daily routines of the neighborhood are unfolding around me, life beginning its gentle flow for the day. There is a peaceful rhythm to the morning activities, a gentle start to the day. Looking up, I see laundry hanging from balconies high above, colorful fabrics billowing gently in the morning breeze. They add another layer of vibrancy to the scene, a domestic touch to the historic architecture. A few locals are chatting animatedly by a doorway, their voices rising and falling in melodic Portuguese. Life in Alfama feels open and unhurried, unfolding naturally in the morning sunlight. It is a pleasure to witness these small, everyday moments. I continue my gentle wander, my gaze drawn to the ever-present tiles and the unfolding life around me. The sunlight warms my face, the air is fresh, and the rhythm of Alfama is soothing and calm. This morning walk is a simple pleasure, a quiet immersion in the beauty and charm of Lisbon. The sunlight on tile, the sounds of the neighborhood, this is the essence of Lisbon morning, I feel. Chapter 5. The Climb to the Castle. The idea to visit São Jorge Castle comes to me as I wander through Alfama. I recall reading about its commanding views over the city and its long history. The thought of seeing Lisbon spread out below, and learning more about its past is appealing. A gentle uphill walk sounds like a pleasant way to spend part of the morning. I decide to make my way towards the castle, embracing the gradual ascent. The climb itself will be part of the experience, not just the destination. Consulting my map once more, I orient myself and begin to walk in the direction of the castle hill. The streets begin to incline upwards, a subtle but noticeable change underfoot. The cobblestones become steeper, requiring a little more effort with each step I take. The buildings around me remain tall and close together, still casting welcome shadows in the strengthening sunlight. The sounds of the city begin to shift slightly, becoming a little more distant as I climb higher. A sense of leaving the immediate bustle behind starts to form. As I ascend, glimpses of wider vistas begin to appear between the buildings. The terracotta rooftops of Alfama spread out below, a warm, earthy sea of color. Beyond the rooftops, I can see the Tagus River shimmering in the distance, a wide expanse of blue reflecting the sky. The air feels slightly different here, perhaps a little cooler and fresher as I gain altitude. The views are slowly unfolding, revealing more of Lisbon with each upward step. It is like the city is revealing itself layer by layer. The climb is gentle, not strenuous, allowing me to appreciate the surroundings fully. I pause occasionally to catch my breath, but also to simply observe the unfolding panorama. Looking back down the way I have come, I can see the winding streets of Alfama like intricate pathways laid out below. The detail from above is different, a new perspective on the familiar lanes. The overall shape of the neighborhood becomes more apparent from this slightly elevated vantage point. The climb is offering new ways of seeing the city already. The scent of pine trees becomes noticeable in the air, a fresh, resinous fragrance. I realize that the castle hill must have some greenery, adding another sensory dimension to the climb. The sounds of the city are softening further now, replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves in the light breeze. The feeling of being surrounded by stone buildings is gradually giving way to a sense of being closer to nature. This blend of urban and natural elements on the climb is quite appealing. The scent of pine is particularly refreshing in the city air. Turning a corner, I see the imposing stone walls of Sauhorg Castle rising ahead. The ancient fortifications stand proudly against the blue sky, a visible reminder of Lisbon's long and layered history. The sight of the castle evokes a sense of anticipation and a connection to the past. I imagine the countless generations who have walked this same path up to the castle walls. The stones themselves seem to hold stories and echoes of time. Reaching the castle now feels close. The destination is in sight. The pathway becomes more shaded as I approach the castle entrance, trees lining the way now. The air is cooler and calmer under the canopy of leaves, a welcome respite from the sun. I can hear the sound of bird song more clearly here, the chirping and melodies filling the air. The atmosphere shifts again, becoming more tranquil and secluded as I near the castle grounds. This shaded approach feels like a transition space, preparing for the castle visit. The anticipation for entering the castle walls grows steadily. Reaching the entrance gate, I pause for a moment to look back at the view. The panorama of Lisbon is now even more expansive, stretching out in all directions. The Tagus River glistens brightly, the buildings of the city cluster below, and the hills beyond rise in the distance. The height provides a wonderful perspective, a sense of overview and connection to the city as a whole. Taking a deep breath, I turn and step through the ancient gate, ready to explore the castle itself. The city vista from here is truly breathtaking and peaceful. Entering the castle grounds, a sense of stepping into history envelops me. The stone walls are thick and weathered, bearing witness to centuries of stories. The atmosphere within the walls is different again, quieter and more enclosed than the city below. I feel a sense of peace and stillness amidst these ancient stones, a place removed from the everyday bustle. The climb to the castle has been a gentle journey, a gradual ascent both physical and, perhaps, temporal. I am now ready to explore the heart of São Jorge Castle, a place of history and views. Chapter 6. A Taste of the Mercado. Leaving the quietude of São Jorge Castle, the vibrant energy of Lisbon draws me back into its embrace. The thought of exploring a local market comes to mind, a place to experience the city's everyday life in a sensory way. I recall reading about Mercado da Ribeira, now known as Time Out Market, a bustling hub of food and local produce. The idea of immersing myself in the sights, sounds, and smells of a Portuguese market feels inviting. I decide to make my way there, anticipating a taste of local Lisbon life. Navigating back down the castle hill, the city sounds begin to grow in volume once more. The narrow streets of Alfama lead me gradually towards wider avenues and more open spaces. I follow signs towards the Caixa do Sodré area, knowing the market is located near the riverfront. The air becomes filled with a mix of city sounds, traffic, trams, and the lively murmur of people going about their day. A sense of anticipation builds as I approach the market area, drawn by the promise of local flavors. Arriving at the Mercado da Ribeira, the scale of the building is immediately impressive. A large, airy hall, it buzzes with activity and a vibrant energy that spills out onto the surrounding square. Stepping inside, I am immediately enveloped by a symphony of sensory experiences. The sounds are a mixture of lively conversations, the clatter of cutlery, and the enticing calls of vendors promoting their wares. A wave of aromas washes over me, a delicious blend of food from all corners of Portugal. The market is clearly a hub of culinary and social life in Lisbon. My eyes take in the scene, a colorful panorama of food stalls and bustling crowds. Each stall is a miniature restaurant, showcasing a different aspect of Portuguese cuisine. From fresh seafood displays glistening on ice to vibrant fruit and vegetable stands piled high with produce, the colors are rich and varied, a feast for the eyes as much as for the palate. People are moving around with purpose, choosing their meals, chatting with friends, and enjoying the market atmosphere. The energy of the place is palpable, yet still feels welcoming and relaxed. Wandering slowly through the aisles, I observe the incredible variety of food on offer. Stalls selling freshly grilled seafood emit enticing aromas of smoky char and the sea. Others display colorful arrays of petiscos, Portuguese tapas, tempting small bites of local delicacies. Pastry counters overflow with golden pastéis de nata and other sweet treats, promising sugary indulgence. The sheer abundance is almost overwhelming, a testament to Portugal's rich culinary heritage. It is difficult to decide where to begin, so much to explore and taste. I pause at a stall specializing in seafood, drawn by the glistening displays of fresh catches. The aroma of grilled fish is particularly appealing, mingling with the briny scent of the ocean. I watch as a vendor expertly grills a fish over hot coals, the skin crisping to golden perfection. The sounds of sizzling seafood and the vendor's cheerful calls add to the lively atmosphere. Seafood in a coastal city like Lisbon seems like an essential experience. Perhaps I will return for a full meal later, I consider. For now, I am drawn to a pastry stall. The golden glow of pastéis de nata irresistible. These custard tarts are a quintessential Portuguese treat, I recall. The flaky pastry is perfectly caramelized, holding a creamy, sweet custard filling, dusted with cinnamon. I order one, and the vendor hands it to me warm from the oven, its aroma even more enticing up close. Finding a quiet corner at a nearby communal table, I prepare to savor this local delicacy. It feels right to start with this iconic Portuguese pastry. Taking a bite of the pastel de nata, the flavors explode on my palate. The crispness of the pastry gives way to the smooth, rich custard, perfectly balanced in sweetness. The hint of cinnamon adds a warm spice note, enhancing the overall flavor profile. The warmth of the tart is comforting, a perfect treat to enjoy in the bustling market atmosphere. It is a simple pleasure, yet incredibly satisfying, a true taste of Portugal. I understand now why these pastries are so beloved here. Savoring the last bite of the pastel de nata, I feel a sense of contentment and gentle energy. The market experience is invigorating, a feast for all the senses. The vibrant atmosphere, the delicious aromas, and the taste of local pastry have all contributed to a pleasant immersion in Lisbon life. I decide to continue wandering through the market, observing more stalls and perhaps trying another local treat later. The Mercado da Ribeira is a true sensory delight, a wonderful taste of Lisbon's culinary heart. Chapter 7. Exploring Gion. As evening descends, a desire to explore Gion district arises within me. A place I've read is known for its traditional wooden matia houses. Gion, I understand, is Kyoto's geisha district, holding an aura of old-world charm and perhaps a touch of mystery after dark. The thought of wandering through its streets in the evening light appeals to my sense of quiet exploration. I decide to journey there, seeking to experience Gion's unique atmosphere as night begins to embrace the city. The transition from day to night in a new place always holds a certain fascination. Leaving behind the brighter lights of central Kyoto, I make my way towards Gion, noticing a change in the city's ambiance as I approach. The streets become narrower, the buildings take on a more traditional style, and the pace of life seems to soften. The air carries a sense of quiet anticipation, a feeling of stepping into a different era. Lanterns begin to glow softly outside doorways, casting gentle pools of light on the pathways. The atmosphere is shifting, becoming more intimate and hushed, as evening deepens. Arriving in Gion, the scene that unfolds before me is captivating and serene. Traditional wooden buildings line the streets, their dark wood gleaming softly in the muted light. Paper lanterns hang gently from eaves, casting a warm, diffused glow that illuminates the pathways. The sounds of the city seem to recede here, replaced by a quieter atmosphere, a peaceful hush. There is a sense of stepping into a tranquil pocket of old Japan, preserved amidst the modern city. The visual harmony of wood and soft light is immediately calming. I begin to stroll along the narrow streets, my footsteps soft on the pavement, almost hesitant in the quiet atmosphere. The wooden facades of the machiya houses are beautiful in their simplicity, their clean lines and understated elegance. The details are subtle, the gentle curve of a roof line, the intricate latticework on a window, the smooth texture of aged wood. Each building seems to hold its own history, whispering stories of generations past. The craftsmanship is evident in every detail, a testament to enduring traditions. The lighting in Gion at night is intentionally soft and low, enhancing the atmosphere of tranquility and intimacy. Lanterns cast warm golden light that creates pools of illumination and leaves areas in gentle shadow. The effect is calming, creating a sense of peace and quiet contemplation as I walk. The shadows themselves seem to soften the edges of the modern world, drawing focus to the traditional elements. This careful lighting design contributes significantly to Gion's unique nighttime charm. The sounds of Gion at night are subtle and understated, contributing to the overall peaceful ambiance. The gentle rustling of leaves in the evening breeze, the distant murmur of conversation from a discreet doorway, the soft clack of Geta sandals on the pavement. These are the sounds that define Gion after dark, a quiet symphony of everyday life unfolding gently. There is no overwhelming noise, just a peaceful background hum that enhances the serenity. Listening closely, I can discern the subtle music of the night in Gion. As I walk further, I notice the occasional glimpse of a figure in traditional dress disappearing around a corner. A fleeting impression of white makeup and a colorful kimono. A hint of the geisha culture that is still present in this district. The encounters are brief, respectful, and add to the subtle mystique of Gion at night. There is no overt display, just these quiet glimpses respecting the privacy and traditions. These fleeting moments add a layer of gentle intrigue to the evening walk. The air feels still and calm in Gion, carrying a slight coolness as night deepens. The scent of wood smoke drifts faintly from somewhere nearby, a comforting and nostalgic aroma. The overall atmosphere is one of quiet reverence and respect, a place where time seems to slow down. Walking here is like stepping into a different rhythm, a gentler pace more attuned to the traditions of the past. Gion at night feels like a sanctuary of calm within the bustling city of Kyoto. Continuing my quiet stroll, I absorb the peaceful atmosphere of Gion, letting the gentle ambiance wash over me. The soft lighting, the traditional buildings, the subtle sounds all contribute to a calming and reflective experience. This evening walk is a journey into the heart of old Kyoto, a moment of tranquility in a timeless setting. Dawn at night is indeed a place of unique charm and quiet beauty, a treasure to discover slowly and gently. Chapter 8. Sunset at a Miradouro. The thought of watching the sunset from a high vantage point comes to mind as the day begins to soften. Lisbon, with its hills and viewpoints, Miradouros, seems perfectly designed for such an experience. I consult my map once more, considering the different options, each offering a unique perspective of the city. Miradouro da Senhora do Monte, being one of the highest, draws my attention with the promise of panoramic views. The idea of witnessing the sunset from there feels like a fitting way to conclude the day. I decide to make my way towards Miradouro da Senhora do Monte, anticipating the evening vista. The walk towards the Miradouro involves a gentle uphill climb once more, though different from the castle ascent. The streets leading to this viewpoint are quieter, more residential, offering glimpses into local Lisbon life away from the main tourist paths. The air feels still and warm, holding the heat of the day, promising a balmy evening. As I ascend, the sounds of the city gradually soften, replaced by a more peaceful ambiance. The anticipation for the view grows steadily with each upward step, a quiet excitement. Reaching the Miradouro, I am greeted by an open space, a platform perched high above the city. The view that unfolds is indeed breathtaking, a vast panorama stretching out in every direction. Lisbon is laid out before me, a tapestry of terracotta rooftops, white buildings, and green spaces, all bathed in the warm afternoon light. The Tagus River glistens in the distance, winding its way towards the horizon, reflecting the sky above. I find a vacant bench perfectly positioned to face the setting sun and settle down to wait. The vista from here is expansive and deeply calming. Sitting on the bench, I take a moment to simply absorb the view, letting my eyes wander across the cityscape. The light at this hour is particularly beautiful, casting a golden hue over everything it touches. The buildings seem to glow softly, their textures enhanced by the angle of the afternoon sun. The air is still and peaceful, a gentle breeze occasionally rustling the leaves of nearby trees. There is a profound sense of tranquility here, a world away from the bustling city below. The quietude of this high vantage point is instantly soothing. As the sun begins its descent, the colors in the sky start to transform gradually. The clear blue begins to soften, tinges of warm colors appearing at the edges of the horizon. Pale oranges and soft pinks begin to paint the clouds, subtle brush strokes across the vast canvas of the sky. The light on the city below also shifts, becoming warmer and richer as the sun dips lower. The transformation is gentle, gradual, a slow unfolding of evening's beauty. Nature's artistry is on full display, a peaceful transition in light and color. The terracotta rooftops of Lisbon seem to deepen in color, becoming a richer, more vibrant shade of ochre in the setting sunlight. The white buildings take on a warmer tone, reflecting the golden light and casting elongated shadows. The details of the cityscape become more pronounced, textures and shapes emphasized by the low angle of the sun. The city transforms visually with the changing light, taking on a different character as evening approaches. The interplay of light and shadow creates a captivating visual tapestry. The Tagus River reflects the colors of the sky, mirroring the oranges and pinks of the sunset in its shimmering surface. The water seems to glow from within, a ribbon of light winding through the city. The distant hills on the opposite bank become silhouetted against the bright horizon, adding depth to the panoramic view. The river and the sky seem to merge in a dance of color, reflecting each other in perfect harmony. The water becomes a canvas mirroring the beauty unfolding above. The sounds of the city below soften even further as the evening approaches, fading into a gentle murmur. The distant sounds of traffic become less distinct, replaced by a quieter ambiance. Perhaps I can hear the faint sound of church bells in the distance, their melodic tones carried on the still air. The overall soundscape becomes more peaceful, more conducive to quiet contemplation. The city seems to be collectively exhaling as day transitions into night. Sitting here, watching the sunset paint the Lisbon sky and cityscape, a profound sense of peace settles over me. The beauty of the view is calming, the gentle transition of light is soothing, and the quiet atmosphere is deeply relaxing. This moment, suspended high above Lisbon as the day ends, feels like a perfect pause. The world below seems peaceful, the sky above is breathtaking, and the present moment is simply serene. The sunset from this Miradouro is a beautiful and tranquil experience, a perfect ending to the day. Chapter 9. Fado in the air, packing the memories. The soft evening light filters through the window of my guesthouse room in Alfama. Outside, the sounds of Lisbon evening begin to rise, a gentle murmur of city life as dusk settles. From somewhere nearby, the melancholic strains of Fado music drift on the air, a sound that is uniquely Lisbon. I am back in my room, feeling a sense of quiet contentment after a day of exploration. It is time to prepare for departure, to pack my belongings and gather my thoughts. I open my small suitcase on the bed and begin to fold my clothes, a slow and methodical process. Each item holds a memory of this Lisbon journey, a reminder of moments experienced and places seen. The simple act of packing is a form of reflection, a gentle closing of this chapter of travel. My movements are unhurried, each action deliberate and calm, mirroring the peaceful atmosphere of the room. The quiet rhythm of packing is itself a soothing practice. As I fold a shirt, my mind drifts back to the vibrant azulejo tiles that adorn the city buildings. I recall the way the sunlight illuminated their colors and patterns this morning in Alfama. Then, the panoramic vista from São Jorge Castle unfolds in my memory, the city spread out beneath me. Later, the bustling energy of the Mercado da Ribeira fills my senses again, the aromas and tastes vivid even now. These sensory memories are now woven into the fabric of my Lisbon experience. The warm golden light of the sunset from Miradouro da Senhora de Monte returns to my mind's eye. I remember the soft colors painting the sky, the terracotta rooftops glowing warmly in the fading light. The taste of the pastel de nata from the market it lingers faintly on my palate, a sweet and comforting reminder. The scent of pine from the castle hill also comes back, fresh and resinous in my inner senses. These are the sensory impressions that will remain with me, the essence of Lisbon captured in memory. The sound of Fado music from outside becomes a little clearer now. The melancholic guitar and soulful vocals drifting through the evening air. It is a sound that seems to resonate with the spirit of Lisbon, carrying both longing and beauty in its melodies. The music creates a gentle atmosphere in the room, a backdrop to my quiet packing and reflections. It is a sound that speaks of Portuguese soul, both poignant and deeply moving. The Fado music seems to encapsulate a part of Lisbon's essence. There is a certain beauty in the melancholic tone of Fado, a sense of embracing both joy and sorrow in life's tapestry. The music is expressive, conveying deep emotions with grace and artistry. It seems to reflect the history and soul of this city, a blend of saudade and resilience. Listening to it now, I feel a connection to Lisbon's spirit, an understanding that goes beyond words. The Fado adds a layer of emotional depth to this quiet evening. I carefully place my notebook and camera into my satchel. These are my essential tools for capturing experiences. Within the notebook are scribbled observations and reflections from my Lisbon days, fragments of thoughts and sensory details. The camera holds images of sunlit tiles, panoramic vistas, and market scenes, visual postcards of my journey. These items hold the tangible memories of my time here, ready to be carried onward. I feel a sense of gratitude for the experiences I have collected. Closing my suitcase, I feel a sense of completion for this part of the journey, a chapter drawing to a close. I gather my satchel and prepare to go downstairs, ready to say goodbye to Maria, my kind host at the guest house. Her warm hospitality and gentle presence have added to the peacefulness of my stay in Alfama. A simple thank you feels inadequate, but I hope to convey my genuine appreciation. Saying farewell is always a small, poignant moment in travel. Stepping out of my room and descending the wooden stairs, the scent of wood and old books that permeates the guest house is gentle and familiar. Maria is in the reception area, her warm smile welcoming as always. I offer my thanks in Portuguese as best I can, expressing my sincere gratitude for her kindness. Stepping back out into the narrow streets of Alfama, the Lisbon evening air envelops me once more, carrying the soft sound of Fado. I am ready to depart, carrying Lisbon memories and a sense of peaceful contentment within me. Chapter 10. The Departure. The gentle rocking motion of the wanderer is a familiar and comforting sensation once more. Settling into my seat by the window, I feel the subtle movement as the train begins to glide forward. The rhythmic clickety-clack of the wheels returns, a soothing soundtrack to the start of a new journey. Outside, the lights of Lisbon slowly begin to drift past, blurring into streaks of color in the evening air. Departure is always a moment of gentle transition, a shift in rhythm and perspective. The journey onward from Lisbon now begins, quietly and smoothly. Looking out, the cityscape of Lisbon recedes into the distance, becoming a panorama of twinkling lights against the darkening sky. The hills of the city create a gentle silhouette, a recognizable outline even as we move further away. I catch a final glimpse of the São Jorge Castle perched high on its hill, a silent sentinel overlooking the departing train. It is a familiar landmark now, a visual anchor for my memories of Lisbon. The city's unique shape and character are imprinted in my mind. The train tracks now run alongside the Tagus River, offering a last view of this majestic waterway. The river widens as we move downstream, becoming a broad expanse reflecting the city lights and the evening sky. The water shimmers and flows gently, carrying a sense of peaceful movement towards the ocean. I imagine boats gliding silently on its surface, mirroring our own steady journey. The Tagus is a constant presence, a defining feature of Lisbon's landscape, even as we depart. Reflecting on my time in Lisbon, the vibrant colors of the azulejo tiles come to mind most vividly. The way they captured and reflected the sunlight, adding life and artistry to every corner of the city. Then, the warm golden hues of the sunset from the Miradouro, painting the rooftops in rich ochre tones. The visual palette of Lisbon is one of warmth and light, a feast for the eyes in every direction. These colors will remain with me, a lasting impression of the city's beauty. The gentle sounds of Lisbon also echo in my memory, the melancholic strains of Fado drifting through Alfama's narrow streets, the lively buzz of the Mercado da Ribeira, a symphony of voices and market calls, and the quieter sounds too, the rustling leaves on the castle hill, the gentle lapping of water by the riverfront. Lisbon's soundscape is a blend of vibrant energy and peaceful moments, a gentle rhythm of city life. The auditory memories are as rich and varied as the visual ones. A feeling of calm contentment settles within me, a sense of peacefulness derived from my Lisbon days. The city's gentle pace, the warmth of its people, and the beauty of its surroundings have all contributed to this tranquil state. There was no rush, no overwhelming intensity, just a quiet unfolding of moments and experiences. This gentle rhythm of Lisbon is something I will carry with me, a reminder of peaceful exploration. The city has imparted a sense of serenity that lingers within. Thinking of the Portuguese people I encountered, their warmth and gentle hospitality stand out. Maria at the Guesthouse, with her kind smile and welcoming presence. The market vendors, cheerful and engaging, offering tastes of local delicacies. And the everyday interactions, brief but always polite and respectful, reflecting a gentle nature. This sense of human warmth has enriched my Lisbon experience, adding a personal touch to the journey. The kindness of strangers is always a heartening discovery. Looking ahead now, to the journey onward, a feeling of gentle anticipation stirs within me once more. The wanderer is heading towards new horizons. New cities and landscapes await to be discovered. But the memories of Lisbon will remain, a cherished chapter in this ongoing journey. The light, the tiles, the Fado, the sunset views, these are the treasures I carry with me from this place. Each city leaves its mark, adding to the rich tapestry of experiences. The rhythmic clickety-clack of the wanderer continues its soothing song, carrying me onward into the night and towards the next destination. Lisbon recedes further behind, a beautiful memory fading gently into the past, yet remaining vividly present within. The journey is continuous, ever unfolding, and the peaceful rhythm of exploration goes on, carried by the steady wheels of the wanderer. Onward we travel, into the gentle unknown with Lisbon's calm spirit as a peaceful companion. Image prompts. Chapter 1.